I mean, I was watching your TED talk.
Hmm.
It was really good, and I can recommend people to check it. And you talked about, and this is a real fear amongst creatives, musicians, artists, whatever, and that is that their profession or skill set might be obsolete, right? And I've been thinking a lot about that because music, or actually, why should music be protected from technological advancement uh, that any other industry is having? Like any other industry, you might lose your job because AI or whatever can do it more efficient, right? So how would you encourage people to think about it rather than being, oh, I hate AI, or whatever technology, Yeah, how would
Sure.
you, yeah, encourage people to think and prepare and take advantage of?
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing I'd say is and frankly, the most important thing
Hmm.
is that we all share an understanding of the facts. What's possible, what's not, what's real, what's fake, etc. Hollywood does us no favors by making everything in AI or making everyone's kind of internalization of that be like Terminator Skynet, right? It's the end of the world. And that's very far from the truth. And so whether or not people are going to agree with me in my argument, what we hopefully can share is a set of common facts, right?
Hmm.
And from there we can have an intelligent argument. And for that, I think there's a couple historical trends that I find compelling. One, and I'll talk to music, but it's applicable in any industry, is that technology has always helped us express our ideas as and as technology advances, we're able to express our ideas more quickly, with less knowledge required,
Hmm.
and with less financial investment required. Right. So from the days of Bach, when it was pen and paper, and you had to know everything, and to afford to do it, you had a state or a church sponsor. Right. To the mid 1900s, when it was analog recording, and you could do more, know less, and invest less, right?
Hmm.
To the 80s with the synthesizer, to the 90s with the onset of digital music, today with mobile. Each one of these technological advancements lowers the time investment required and the economic cost of learning how to express yourself creatively. And also, at each one of these inflection points, from a local perspective, everyone thinks the world's going to end. Synthesizers we're gonna kill the orchestra. Recorded music was going to kill, analog tape was going to kill live music. All of these things, and when we see that's in no way the truth.
Hmm.
What is true is that as technology advances, the way we make music and the way we changes,
Hmm.
and that's really the difference between a job and a career. Right? A job is a set of tasks that we complete.
Hmm.
Career is our ability to deliver value to others over time. And so what I'll tell people is your job, or the set of tasks we complete to make music, will not exist in 5 or 10 years.
Hmm.
In the same way that the job you used to do 5 or 10 years ago does not exist today.
Hmm.
However, your career has every reason to exist in the future as does today, as it did in the past, because the way we do things will always change. But the core goal of being able to make music and to help others, whether it's in our a musical or a standalone piece of music, or music within a piece of media content or something else,
Hmm.
that still exists. And so the worst thing you can do is bury your head in the sand and say none of this counts, none of this is happening, it's not applicable to me. I'm ignoring it, right? Because that's when in essence, the times can pass you by.
Right.
And we all love, going and using perhaps not the most bleeding edge technology to do things, and that's great.
Hmm.
But from a professional perspective, it's critically important to be aware and knowledgeable about what current techniques are, what current opportunities are, what current technologies are, and then to make an educated decision of whether or not to use them, when and how and why.
Hmm.
Um, so, when people say, look, this is going to destroy the end of the world, this is putting every musician out of business, it's not necessarily true.
Right.
Certainly, when technology advances, and so we'll talk in music, AI music, it has the most immediate threat to the bottom of the pyramid, right? The stock music that goes, behind content, where it's really valued as functional music, not as artistic music, right? And that is being rapidly attacked and will soon become largely the domain of computer music, because the value prop makes sense. And so for those people who currently make their bread and butter in that part of the industry, they're going to have to move upstream and up. But for those who are creating artistic music that's valued for the collaboration and human creative process that goes into making it, that will never be replaced by AI music, because the value prop is such that humans value making art together, humans making art for humans. And yes, we use technology to do that, and I hope that Amper is a part of every artistic creation, a part of the tool set. But it won't displace the creative efforts and the people who are making that music. And again, this argument is equally applicable in nearly any industry, right? If you just changed out terminology for agriculture, for medicine, for whatever it might be. But in music, it's quite applicable because of what we do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's super interesting because I think maybe because the whole technology moves fast, or move forward so fast, quickly, that it can maybe feel a bit overwhelming, because this is my perception of musicians, artists, that they might not be familiar with, how do I add value? What does that mean? Like, I thought it was enough me making cool songs, So, what would you say being added value the artists or engineers, whatever, can bring to the music industry?
Yeah, I mean, I think the key thing is to understand. First of all, if you're making music for yourself,
Sure.
right, you are your own boss, right? And so you do whatever you want. If you are making music for others, then you have to understand why people listen to or purchase your music. Is it because they like you as the artist, they like your story? Is it because they have a piece of a video clip that just needs music behind it, and they don't care where they get it from or how it works? They just need to do something. And depending on what that value prop is and that use case is, you optimize for that. And because I argue very strongly that music that's valued for the human artistry is the most defensible against technological encroachment. I strongly encourage anyone who's a professional music maker, someone hoping to or currently being paid in these industries, to find out and seek out ways where their music is valued artistically.
Right.
And it can be a number of manners, but if you do that, then you are inherently insulating yourself from the pressures of technology, much more so than if you are directly competing with something that inevitably will be faster, more affordable for buyers, and equal to, from a quality perspective, what you can do. And that's just not a winning battle that you can make.